Hey.
Ugh. You nervous?
I always get nervous, bro. You hit the. I'm good until you hit the record button, and I legitimately get nervous every single time. I don't know.
Get nervous?
I have no.
We're having a conversation.
I know.
This is a podcast.
I don't know, Coach.
There's no script. There's no nothing. We don't script, by the way.
No, that's a scripted. Well, you have bullet points.
Well, that's why we have our computers here.
True.
420 today.
Did a Murph on 420.
What are you doing to celebrate? Murph challenge?
Did a Murph challenge.
What's the Murph challenge?
What is that? Mile?
Whoa, back up. It's an exercise.
Yeah, well, for people that don't know, I did the Murph today, 420. Got lit on. I did.
Doing a workout.
Blowing up my body.
It's basically a weighted challenge. It's 45-pound vest.
Yeah.
1 mile. No, it's normally performed on Memorial Day.
Memorial Day, yeah.
Yeah. So it's 1 mile run, 100
pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and another mile run.
All with the same vest on. You don't take off the vest.
Yeah, you don't take off the vest.
And then you time yourself.
Yes.
Took you about, 49 minutes?
49 minutes.
49 minutes. It's pretty quick. It's not bad.
I wasn't feeling so hot afterwards.
Well, nobody does. All right, guys. All right. So how to deal with the 9-to-5 job is the topic for today. Escaping the rat race.
Hold on. What's episode is it today, dude? What episode is this? Is it 6?
Is it 6? Yeah, it's 6.
6, yeah. 6.
Number 6. Mm-hmm. Could be number 6.
Damn.
Yeah.
And what's your name?
I'm Adam Trevino.
And I'm Elijah Rodriguez.
This is the Common Ground Podcast. It is currently April the 20th, 2020. And again, we are still in quarantine. So you can see that we're practicing our social distance here as best we can. Masks are now required.
We should have done it with the mask on.
Nah. God.
All right. That would have been pretty funny, though.
I mean, maybe.
All right. So what is it? 9 to 5. Surviving.
So, here's the thing. We kind of went down on this.
We kind of talk about it a lot.
We talk. This is. I feel like this was the main topic.
Yeah.
That really got us into starting this podcast. It started with this conversation.
Yeah.
Because we work the 9-to-5 job, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. It's not. We don't actually work 9 to 5. We work from 7 to 1 to 3ish, depending on the day. But ideally, this is a corporate job we work during the day. That's our day job, corporate job, 8 hours, 40 hours per week is what we work. We are both college graduates. This is our first job out of college.
It's my first. Well, yeah, first job.
I don't think of it as being my first real job. It was just one of sort of those.
You know, I'd say it was. I would say it was my first real job.
Well, I guess in a sense, yeah.
Because I mean,
it is.
When we were over at the fields, and that's not a real.
No, that's true. I mean, we're working and
at a desk.
We're working at a desk. We're getting paid decently.
I'd say
at best.
It's an
understatement. Anyways, we're not getting paid a lot.
No.
We can say it up front. We're not going to talk about specific salaries or anything.
No.
No, it's not a lot of money. First job. And there's just a lot of things that we see day to day, man. There's just a lot of stuff.
It's just stupid shit.
Just stupid stuff we see all the time, and we felt compelled to talk about this. So we think of this 9-to-5 job being this rat race. It's this thing where you just basically you're showing up to work. You do endless work while you're there. You're there 8 hours, clock in, clock out kind of deal. Obviously, we're under salary, so it's not really clock in, clock out, but you get the idea. 40-hour per week in a cubicle corporate job. And I can tell you right now that even after less than about a year working in this position, it sucks. For me, it sucks.
Dude, I hate it too. Come on.
Lots of people hate it. I feel partly because my side business is fitness and personal training. It sucks. It's not what I want to do. I mean, there's a lot of people I'm sure that just don't want to do it.
No. Don't want to do their job, period. Not just what we're specific line of work we're in, but
yeah.
I mean, I hate it too. But we will get to that.
We'll get to it. So what comes to mind when you hear like how to deal with a 9-to-5 job? Like, When you think about the first things when you go to work and you come out of work, like, how do you cope with this job that you have for you?
I think so. I have, I hate my job and then I don't at the same time because it is very flexible.
We both work in sporting goods.
Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the schedule because we pretty much set our own schedule. So I mean, I make sure that I'm an early riser, so I get there early and I get out early.
Same. We arrive at the same time.
Yeah. So we get there early and we get out early, and I think that I just make sure that I don't waste my time.
Yeah.
So it's like I make sure that's something I have to do. So I get that done, and then afterwards we go to the gym, or we're doing this or XYZ. We're doing our passion. So it's like we see that as something that we have to do, and of course we get it done. I'm not going to sit here until you do a bad job.
So you go to work with a purpose, right? Like to get your job done.
I mean,
so you do your job.
I make sure I get it done, but it stays there. That's it. It's not like I'm gonna like brainstorm and think about things outside of work. Like, no,
you're not paid for it.
I'm there, and that's it. I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not making it a career. I'm not gonna like try to. I'm not gonna say I'm like an underachiever. I'm not gonna try to impress my bosses because I'm gonna always do good work that has my name on it. But it stays there.
So what's your job title?
I'm a bid representative and a marketing coordinator.
Okay. So you market for the most part. Yeah. I'm a bid representative as well.
You take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
And you know why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I feel like I go into work with a purpose. Well, at least I try to, depending on the work that we have. Obviously, under the circumstances going on right now.
Yeah.
It's tough to do that.
I think if you're gonna get into sporting goods, it's bad because there's no sports being played.
Yeah, it's seasonal,
which is tough for a lot of people to understand. Not even. Right, I'm just saying right now, like sporting goods, bro.
Oh,
there's no sports being played.
Yeah, especially during this.
And I think it's a funny thing is like our higher ups are like, oh my god, our sales are so low, and I'm like, hey guy, go find me a team sport that's playing right now and ask yourself the question again. Like, come on, dude, turn your brain on.
Yeah, you can't be on a different planet.
You can't, man. It's like you just be realistic. I think that's a lot of people. That's a whole other topic. Like, it'll come up. Just self-awareness and perspective of what's going on around you.
Yeah,
I think it's huge.
Do you think your goal should be to escape this ultimate 9-to-5 job, or do you feel like it's okay to work this thing? Like, how do you approach this? Like, do you think about it like being something that you got to do?
For the time being, yeah. Especially with my financial situation.
Okay.
I mean, I have stuff to pay for.
Sure.
My mom can only do so much, so I'm kind of on my own with a lot of things. So I think like I need it now.
Yeah.
The goal is ultimately to get to a point where like I don't need it anymore, because I think it does take away from energy and creativity sometimes, or especially dealing with people you don't like generally, or dealing with like work that sucks. It can be draining. You can have your off days and your days that you just don't give a shit, or days that it's just good days.
Yeah.
And I think that eventually, if you want to pursue anything like that you actually want to do, you're gonna have to leave that behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the idea is to bank as much as you can and then hop out like as soon as you can.
So I think there's a lot of issues when it comes to like banking, well, in your terms, banking off of working this job.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know how to really work.
So I think
people have the intention to like ultimately escape it, but don't actually set like a plan.
No, and
in place.
I think you want me to be 100% honest with you. That's
Sure.
why all of these places, these 9-to-5s,
they exist.
Like we went to go see my mom today, and you saw all those little corporations and those business parks. And I can guarantee you that a lot of those people had the same, where they're sitting, or either not sitting in the same spots, but like had the same thought. I'm only gonna work here for X, and then I'm gonna go do this, and it never happens. It never happens.
It's like taking out the garbage or doing your laundry. You think you're gonna do it, and then a week or two go by, and then finally you freaking do it.
Yeah,
but I mean, you're talking about large scale.
I mean, this is a big difference because people don't like change.
No.
And people like the comfortability and the security.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, but like, to be honest, like,
but that's how they get you.
No shit, that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. But the root of all of this is the fact that they get you to experience comfort.
That's
whether that's between your 401k, your healthcare, your basically just
and that's
everything. When
that's
it comes
the thing
to
I was telling you, man, is like it's a trap.
Yeah, we talked about it on our other episode.
Dude. It's like we'll give you like security and 401k,
it's all about
great work environment.
Don't
worry about it. It's gonna be a great work-life balance. We won't do anything awful to you.
Yeah.
But then, like, you're there forever. You don't ever accomplish anything that you wanted to do, and that's scary as shit to me.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's terrifying.
Absolutely.
So I I think that people have that idea where they're gonna leave and they just never do it. Their dreams and their ideas.
Well, they just don't have the
die.
drive.
Well, okay. See, there's a fine line because there are people that go and like their ideas. They meet somebody or they have their significant other and like their goal together is to build a family.
So you think that it's okay for a lot of people to have this job?
You know what I think? This is a hot take. I think if you're gonna complain and bitch about it, then you need to do something about it. But if you're not complaining. And you are generally happy going to work every day and like driving like whatever you drive and living in the house you live in and like you have your kids and like everything's like okay everything's gonna be great of course, but like you're doing what you want to do. You're happy. Yeah. You make $40,000 a year, and you live with your wife, 2 kids, a house that's maybe whatever, and you're happy.
That's what it is.
Hey, dude. That's it, man. You're living it. You're happy. Yeah. Like, what else could you ask for? Yeah. But see, then there's the people that are not happy, right? And they'll bitch at work. They'll go. They could be friends that you don't work with, and you go out on a Saturday. Clearly not in this time now. Yeah. Or they'll text you or call you up, and be like, man, I fucking hate my job. I need to get out of it, and they never leave. Yeah, and you'll see them a year or two. They're still the same spot. Or
they'll go and like transfer someplace else and be doing the similar type of work. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like
I think for those people,
that's where the problem lies. Yeah. Self-awareness. If you hate your shit, you know, people are always looking to be the victim. Like, hey, man, it's going to be okay. Like, why don't you fucking do something about it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like I hate this, and I always bitch about, you know, X, Y, and Z. No, not this. My job. I always bitch about, no, I like doing this. I bitch about my job, but, like, I keep it to an extent where, like, I know I'm complaining about shit, but, like, I just kind of just do it, like, to me and you, because you know these people and you know what goes on and you know that there's a whole different situation. And it's like, but I know I'm not going to go complain to my mom or my other friends, like, oh, my God, I need to get out of here. Like, no, I know that already. I'm not going to go complain to you. I don't need anybody to feel bad for me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm here because I know I need to do this, but this isn't the big picture. No. Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel about that.
I feel the same way. So the way I kind of approach it is I kind of always have, like, a plan, whether it's for the day or the week or even for the month. Mm-hmm. There's always just an end goal in mind. Right. And that goal is whenever I do show up to this job, I know that at the end of the work day, I'm going to come home and work on something that's going to benefit me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
And not only that, I think I'm going to continue to put myself in a position to be able to do that. And what does that kind of mean? That means basically I'm going to keep my responsibilities low. Right. To where I have the time and the capability to continue to do things that I want to do on the side.
Absolutely.
And so ultimately this 9-to-5 job isn't going to be my end all be all. Mm-hmm. You know, and if I get the opportunity to work elsewhere to earn a little bit extra income with the same type of hours, hell, I might even take it. But I'm still going to have to sit back and realize, you know, this is not it for me. No. And in order for me to put myself in a position to succeed and do what I want to do, right. It's a matter of keeping your responsibilities low, but understanding that, hey, you got to be smart financially. Right. You got to learn how to budget, mm-hmm. learn to invest, and of course this is going to be a lot of different topics on this later on. But yeah, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty here. But
I think the big thing is, man, it's like the certainty. Like, oh, I'll you know, whatever happens, I'm going to have a job tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Rather than I'm gonna go off on this limb
and this shit like this happens and holy shit, and you're out of it.
So you didn't. So it's like, I forgot where I heard this from. I don't know if it was like, I forgot who told. I saw it on like Facebook or something. Mm-hmm. Some guy talking, and he was like, people settle for like this. They have a dream that they want to attain, but like that's like, oh my God, it's so out on a limb, and I don't know if what's gonna happen.
It's just so far fetched that they just like shut off.
Just like, oh, whatever. And then there's a safe route of like going to a 9-to-5, mm-hmm. and it's like, but even then, that's not so certain. They'll tell you it's certain, but like at any point your ass could get fired or laid off or whatever.
That's just
and then what? So now you've wasted time going. He's like, you wasted all this time going to this 9-to-5 when really you could have just gone over there because they're both just as uncertain. You just don't think about it that way.
Yeah, and it's true. I think that's just a part of how society just really puts that on you, as well as like, honestly, like your parents and growing up and stuff like that.
I'm kind of twisted on it, man, because like, so I have this job now. Mm-hmm. And I'm like low-key, and this is like so wild because I'm not ungrateful that I still have a job. Mm-hmm. I'm really not. Yeah. I'm like 100% thankful that I have it. Right. But like I'm like kind of hoping that like I get let go because it will force me to figure something out.
It forces you.
It'll force me to expand some
mind.
shit or do something that's gonna make me some money or like
I get that.
do something else. So I'm like kind of like halfway in the middle, like because like I used to do this. So like last year I fell into a rut of like going to work every day and like I didn't know what I wanted to do with myself. Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And it was like depressing.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, dude, I'm kind of like hoping like, oh, one day I'll get the call, like, hey, dude. And it's scary. Like I get nervous about it, but then like I'm excited. Like, holy shit, I don't have to sit here and do this anymore.
When I was put on unpaid leave, because I'm currently on unpaid leave of absence. I'm furloughed at the moment. For people that don't know, I sat there for a bit and realized, well, after I got the call, obviously you were there. You know, a lot of different things were going through your mind, and you kept checking up on me and just. Crystal was checking up on me. And
see, okay, but I knew you were kind of happy. I knew it. I knew you were. I could feel it. I was like, damn, this guy low-key got kind of lucky.
Well, I think about the lack of, obviously, the money that I was going to be getting, but this was going to be a real opportunity for me to figure something out. I had to figure out what to do at that time. Now, and I had to do something, or else I'm gonna be stuck at home doing nothing at all.
Right.
And I was like, holy shit, this is the time. This is for me. This is what I need to just wake myself up and like realize creating the schedule I'm working now for my business as well as the podcast and everything else. That's the life I want. In the end, that's my ultimate goal, is to do this, but at a much larger scale. Mm-hmm. So this was going to be front row seats on experience this kind of life, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy figuring out these things and kind of creating this plan of action amongst this whole problem, because like this thing knocked me down. Like I'm not going to be able to save as much money as before, but what am I going to do on the flip side to be able to put myself in a position to succeed for other things I've been working on this whole time?
Yeah. So I know we said earlier, like people have to work this job and like they continue to work because it pays bills and it pays bills.
Right.
And I think once you get to a point, like you have to go all in on something, because if not, it won't work. So it's like kind of like,
absolutely.
What was that story you're telling me? The guy pulled his 401k.
Okay, so this guy, and the reason we were talking about this isn't just for people our age. No, this is for people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. This guy was in his 50s. It was in his 50s. He had 2 kids, had a wife. Wife worked desk job too. Mediocre middle class family life. And the dude had been told, "Damn, you make some damn good burgers." It was burgers. Mm-hmm. And the guy goes out on a limb, pulls out his savings from his 401k, opens up a burger restaurant, and knocks it out of the freaking park, man. He ends up becoming not literally, but an overnight success on burgers. And becomes a millionaire. Just boom.
You know, dude, I think that's like the only way to do it.
And here's the thing, like this doesn't mean go and pull all your money out and just dump it in one spot. Like this is an extreme case, obviously. And this guy,
that's something that I would do.
But and this is what I'm thinking here. Like this can be applied to a bunch of things about going all in on something. Mm-hmm. So even if you're continuing to work your job now and you just feel like it's not for you, you got to understand, like, how is this job? How am I going to utilize the money and the time I have at this job to place it all in on something I really want to do? Yeah. That's how you got to look at this thing. And that's how we both approach this thing. Like, how are we going to use this to save some money and put it towards something we really want to do? And that's what the main premise of this conversation is about. Mm-hmm. But we have to really take a step back and kind of understand, like, what is at the root of us continuing to work this job? What is at the root idea or reason why you're continuing to work this job? If you really take a step back and think about, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Is this what I want to do? And that can lead a whole... That could open up a huge can of worms, man.
So here's the deal. I think that a lot of young kids are obsessed with the idea of needing to look successful ASAP.
And here's a quote.
It's a stigma.
Here's a quote I was reading. It's from Thomas Stanley. It's from the bestseller book, The Millionaire Next Door. And it says, and like you said, for young people, it says here, if you live in a pricey home and neighborhood, for young people, we can say apartment, or whatever, wherever, You will act and buy like your neighbors. So basically the people you surround yourself with, right?
Mm-hmm.
The more affluent the neighborhood, the more its residents spend on almost every conceivable product and service.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean? We take our consumption cues from our neighbors. That doesn't literally mean your neighbors, but it means people around you, people you associate with. In other words, if people are going and buying and you see them buying all this stuff, shoes, clothes, watches, whatever, you're going to want to play the same part. You're going to want to do the same thing, and you want to continue to buy stuff that you really don't need.
Oh, man.
And you're going to continue to put yourself in a position to have to continue to work a job and stay in this job rather than invest it wisely.
I see that. And, of course, I agree. Absolutely. But then I see the people that they're just wannabes.
They want to what?
They just wannabe people. They want to look like... they're
wannabes.
Like, yeah, gotcha. I want to look like Drake, so I'm going to do all this shit that's not even reality and, drink every night and do all this stupid shit. And it's like... and it's lifestyle. So it's like, I need to spend... alcohol is expensive. Mm-hmm. Going to bars is expensive.
Right.
You know, smoking weed, I'm sure it gets expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, doing all this stuff and posting about it to look cool gets expensive. So it's like, man, I really want to go to the club this weekend. Need money. Yeah. So I'm going to keep working here.
Yeah.
Because they pay me decent.
Yep.
So why wouldn't I stay? I get to look cool on weekends, and I get bottle service because I can afford it.
Right.
Because I got a little bit, put on credit card, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, why not? It's like is that really all? Like, that ends.
And I continue to go back to this, and it was the same idea I had whenever I moved out.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to look like I had a decent job.
Oh, I did too.
I wanted to look like I had my thing in life figured out.
That absolutely goes with who you surround yourself with.
Oh, absolutely.
That idea, because I used to be
it's also part of what you consume.
Yeah,
through social media and things of that nature.
And I've referenced this a lot because the last 2 years I learned a lot, man, and it was I surrounded myself with the people who I was with, and the whole time it was like, we have to look so good, we have to make it you need to dress like this, we need to look like this because we want to make it look like we are this this whole thing. And I'm like, dude,
let me tell you something about that.
And that's why, legit, people, I gave away all that shit. I gave it away. I gave some to you, and I gave the rest to my sister's boyfriend because I'm like, this ain't even fucking me.
Yeah. I mean, in this is kind of funny because the other day I ran into one of my friend's dads at the gym.
Yeah. And
he does marketing, or plays a small part in marketing for consumerism. I don't know exactly the type of...
some company, whatever.
Yeah. And he was telling me, you know what, you've got it good. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, you're at home. I see you posting about your business. I see you working towards that, and it's real good, man. It's good. And I was like, well, thank you. He's like, let me tell you something. He's talking to me. And it was so weird because it was just such a short conversation. He was like, yeah, a lot of what we do is we focus on the younger people. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, at their job, when we market towards people, we market towards millennials and younger generation people,
because they're the idiots that are going to buy.
And I was like, why is that? He's like, they're just always trying to look like they're just the successful person. They want to buy the next big thing. They want to get the next brisket margarita or brisket freaking drink or certain food or certain
FOMO, bro. It's to post it on Instagram and be like, oh, look at this.
Exactly. So he's like, we make so much money because of that.
Yeah, man. It's a real thing.
They make so much money. Because we market towards the young people. We market towards millennials. We market towards people that want to look like they're successful because they have these certain things. And it works all the freaking time.
So the question is that goes back to the other thing, man, of buying shit that you actually want.
Right.
Because there's too many people, man, that buy shit for emotional holes. The thing that pisses me off the most, bro, is I used to talk to this girl, and she would be like, oh my God, I used to be so sad. So I would just go buy shit.
Yeah. Why?
What the fuck are you talking about? Oh my God, I was pissed, so I went to the store and dropped $600 on stuff.
I mean, there's actually buying stuff releases dopamine.
I get that, because it's it makes you feel better, but it's why not just sit your ass at home, feel that shit, and get better than buying shit that you're not even gonna touch, because it felt good.
And it sits there for months. never use it again.
I've never, and to be honest, no matter how upset I've been or like shit that goes wrong, number one, I just never like thought that like the thing to do was to like, I'm fucking pissed, I'm gonna go spend some money. Like,
you'd be surprised. Everyone's different, man.
I get that. I just, it doesn't resonate, bro. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and that's what continues to trap people in this idea that they need to continue to work. That's it. That's all it is. Rather than make the sacrifice of not buying dumb things, not moving out when you can't afford it, or moving to a more expensive place because you can. You got the money.
That goes to perspective and self-awareness.
Absolutely, you have to have perspective and self-awareness, and realize like this. If I'm gonna move here and do these things and buy this car and whatever, you're gonna need money to pay for it. What's the next best thing? Your normal day job, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna continue to work. You're gonna continue to do the job, and that's it. You're gonna have a closed mind and just realize I just need to work this and I can pay for this and I have it. Boom.
That's sickening.
And it is. And people think that's happiness.
It's like when we go, man, it's like when we went to that place today, like the idea, like I sit and look at people that used to work at our place.
Mm-hmm.
That have been there for 20 plus
right.
years. And like, and I told you the other day, bro, what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about fears. And I was like, dude, like I could be running, because I run in the mornings and it's dark as shit.
Mm-hmm. I
could run into like some monster just fucking maul me and kill me. That's not my biggest fear. My biggest fear is legit like suddenly become like looking at my desk and I'm fucking 50 years old and I've been in the same spot.
Yeah.
That is terrifying.
What did you call it whenever you drove up into the parking lot and you saw this older?
That's where dreams die, bro.
That's where dreams go to die.
Yeah, dude. Like it fucking scares me. Like legit. Like it makes me want to throw up.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm like, it's just who I am, man. It's who you are. Like people don't mind going to work every day. Self-awareness of what you like, who you are and what you want.
I also think like it's like if you have like this thing that you think that you want to do or try to do, like you're just a product of who you're surrounding yourself with. So if you're going to continue to be surrounded by negative people, and of course the people at your work, that's all you're really surrounded by every single day. You know what I mean? And not to mention on the weekends you're going out and you're drinking with people that are doing similar work or working in a corporate desk job.
You want to know what really pisses me off? Is people that bitch and complain. And I think we already kind of talked about this. They bitch and complain about their jobs. Mm-hmm. And they'll bitch and complain about they don't make enough money and X and this and that and this and that, and then their ass is out on the weekend getting shit faced and spending dumbass amounts of money, and I'm just like,
it's unfortunate, man.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Yep.
Don't come at me with that bullshit.
It really just takes a small sacrifice, and being self-aware of. And and this is also just a part of just being uneducated. Because we're always taught that this is the way things are going to be. This is how we're going to do it. This is what makes people happy. This is like, we think that going to work, coming back home, having a beer before bed, and then doing it on every day, and then all the way up to the weekend, go out with your friends Friday, Saturday, and then sleep all day Sunday. That's it. We're just taught that.
That kills me. That scares me.
And we're taught that.
It's a rut.
Yeah, it's a rut, but people don't realize it. They think that's just what life is. They think that's what happiness is, and that's it. That's all they equate it to. I can speak firsthand that living at home with my parents, that's how they think. And I see how they act, and I see what they do. And I can sit here and try to talk to them about what I want to do, and they just don't understand.
No, my mom does the same thing.
Because they kind of just been in that thing for a very long time.
And I kind of threw my mom under the bus when I was talking about that mile thing I'm gonna do. Mm-hmm. Remember? But like at the same time, I didn't explain like that's just how she's wired, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's just
and
how
I don't
they were
blame
raised,
her. It hurts sometimes because she doesn't feel.
She doesn't.
Like today when I told her like, hey, we're gonna be doing this, she's like, well, you really need to take care of that job, and I'm like, Mom, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I don't tell her that.
Yeah.
But I just don't. Like I just but like that's all she knows.
Yeah.
It's like you go to work, save money. Go to work, save money, because you'll if you don't have that job, you won't get any money. And I'm like, there's other ways to do this.
and what bothers me the most about all that is that even within those work, that type of work and that job, like you don't have the ability to use your creative mind.
No, man, it's like you're blocked.
It's just like
a
gray space area that you do.
I have known that, and like so at the beginning of this conversation, we said marketing take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many times I've come to them with ideas. I've tried.
And they
so
don't.
you come to that point where you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna try. And they're like,
Nah.
no, we're gonna do it X, and then they fucking fail, and you're like,
Yep. That's
whatever. And I'm just they all like your higher ups. You'll never, unless you're like the tip top of the company.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's always gonna be
telling you what to do.
Yeah. Always. I tell every company, unless you work for a really good company, because there are some really good companies out there. I'm gonna sit here and undermine companies.
Yeah.
There are some good ones, but 98% of them
whole bunch
are gonna cap your ass.
Yeah, they're gonna cap. They don't allow you.
They don't care. Like, you're below me. I'm not gonna listen to you. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And like, that's depressing.
Yep.
Because you're never gonna hit your full potential in an admin job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a hot take, but like, fuck,
yeah, it's
man,
true.
like,
it's true. And it hurts to hear that, but
people don't want to hear this.
But on the flip side, like, you have to realize, like, hey man, like, it's not too late to flip on a switch and be like, you know what?
Oh no, man. It's never too
I'm
late.
gonna take the initiative. Like, for us, like, it was that switch, that me losing my position was that switch that I flipped on and said, hey, I'm gonna do this podcast. I'm gonna start working on my photography skills. I'm gonna work on my social media marketing skills. I'm going to work on my personal training skills and investing and utilizing the money I would otherwise been spending if I didn't have these things in place. I'm going to use it towards this, and I'm going to continue to research and expand and educate myself. Read a book. I mean, just things that would just,
you know what's wild?
Put me in a place to succeed.
That's so true. And I'm curious, and like, you'll never know, but I'm curious to know what like some people did with that stimulus check. I think that's a quick
you
tell.
Can see what people are. People post about it.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's all true or not. I think that
no. People post videos and pictures of things they buy with their stimulus check. In fact, another one of my buddies, he was like, he posted, "Oh, thanks, Mr. Trump," and it was a picture of a big ass iPad.
Oh.
And then like maybe a day later, he was like, what do y'all think about the Apple Pen?
You're
and
joking.
I was like,
no, dude.
Apple Pen.
Please stop. It's just like, what the fuck
Apple
are you
Pen.
doing?
You know what the first thing I researched was? How to double or triple my stimulus check. That was the first thing I researched. I was like, how can I double this? How can I even triple this?
I didn't even touch mine.
That's what I did. I researched it, and I thought,
you know,
this is free money, quote unquote. Obviously, I mean, under whatever you think is gonna happen with this money. Obviously, okay, it hit my account, and I was like, what can I do with it? How can I maximize my stimulus check? You know?
I'm worried about what some people did with that money.
Yeah, I mean, it really just comes down to what you're really taught, wired, and kind of told to do at that point. And that's not to say that you can't.
It's not to say that people got that check and did good shit with it, like paid bills, like, hey,
absolutely,
dude,
yeah.
And
that's what it should have been used for. But people talk about struggling and having the same job and doing all that sort of stuff, and then go and blow this money, this opportunity for them to actually get ahead in something.
Here's $1,200.
$1,200 is a lot of money.
Go put that towards something.
$1,200 is a lot of money.
Yeah, man.
But people think it's just like, oh well, it's used for rent, it's used for groceries and that sort of thing, whatever.
That's probably what I'll end up using it for.
And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But on the flip side, like, if you're at home and maybe you don't have a rent or groceries to go and buy, especially for younger people, like, what are you utilizing it for in that case, in that manner, if you're put in that position? For me, obviously, I'm living at home with my parents. Like, I don't think about it as money. I'm just going to go and blow. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going to think about how I'm going to maximize the usage of that money to put myself in a better position, you know? So, yeah, I immediately thought about, how can I double this? How can I triple this? And that's all just a part of just, like, researching and educating yourself about financials.
Absolutely.
You know, ways to just utilize your day job to get out of your day job, in other words. That's kind of weird to say, but that's kind of how I think about it, you know? And it's funny because people think that the only way to really get out of the day job and retire and live the golden years life is just to save, and that's it. And people don't educate themselves about how to invest, how to invest in maybe a side hobby you'd like to do, make extra money on the side with your side hobby, do a side
just
business,
like, and
anything.
know, we had a conversation with my cousin the other day. He's like, the golden years exist, and of course he's a lot older than we are. Well, I'm about 10 years older than we are. I'd say about 10 years, right? And it's like, I had to tell him, but he didn't even understand. I'm like, bro, there's no finish line. This shit never ends.
Yeah.
You can't just get to a point and say, I hit it, I'm done.
And that's cool if you do it for like a week or two.
No, bro, that shit never comes.
But then, what then?
I've legit accepted the fact, and that's why like my mom told me the other day, like, this is so kind of off topic, but it's like I changed my diet. She was like, you can't do that forever. I'm like, why wouldn't I?
That's a whole completely different topic I can get on to, but
I know, but it's the same concept.
It should be more of a
getting to that
nutritional
point.
lifestyle than a
Right.
diet.
But I'm like this shit never ends. Like, why wouldn't you continue to strive and
Mhm.
continue to push? Like,
right.
if you lose all your drive to do anything, what the hell are you?
Yeah.
You're a poor excuse of a human if you just veg and do shit all day. I'm serious. Like, people
You'll
legit
be a
look
mental midget.
forward to that, bro. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking
You'll be a
about?
mental midget.
Like, you can be like, oh, I'm so cool. I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
No, dude. No.
And people are just wired that way sometimes, I think. Like,
It's really, man, it comes down to generational thing. And what you're taught.
and what you're taught and what you consume. It's all
Not even-
consumerism and just
how you're brought
basically the
up.
position you put yourself in, you know?
Yeah, it just...
If you have a closed mind, you're just going to have...
kind of like a deep thing, man, is like and this is kind of wild, but like I can't imagine going through life and then like dying and like no one even know who the fuck you were.
He was a good guy, man.
You know,
What did he do for a living?
Yeah, what the fuck did he do?
Yeah.
Like going and dying and then like no one giving a fuck because no one knows who you were.
Yeah.
You didn't leave a mark on anybody.
Yeah.
That shit scares me. You lived a life with no purpose. You know, you just went. You just moved through life with no actuality to it.
Straight mediocrity.
You just died. And that's so blunt, bro, but it's so true. Like, because you know, and a lot of people go to the grave, bro, with ideas, man, that they never ever brought to light, and that's so depressing.
Yeah.
It's just straight regret.
Yeah.
You know.
I also think that people think that people are wired to work for something for a period of time and be praised for it.
Yeah.
Or congratulated for it. So all our lives, when we're going to school or we're working jobs and we're getting that short-term promotion, or after a few years you get that promotion, whatever, like, we always feel like gratification should come very quickly. Right?
Okay.
And that's just...
That is a sign of the times. More than
Exactly.
anything.
And we just feel like... And this plays back to dealing with a 9-to-5 job and escaping the rat race. People think that obtaining gratification is something that is a very short-term thing. So, for instance, you study 2 weeks, you get the A on an exam. You study for a couple months at a time, you take that exam and get your certification. Boom, you got it. Just like my strength and conditioning certification, you know? Like, granted, it was only a year that I studied. It was a long time for me, like a year, but
That's just a long time.
in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that long of a time. It's 1 year, boom, you got it, right?
Right.
And we feel that the same way with these jobs. Like, oh, well, if you have the opportunity to work here for about a year or two, we'll get you promoted. We'll get you moving on.
You know,
up.
that is so true, because when I was applying for jobs, when I thought I needed to get another job, remember that like kind of period? I was like, I'm gonna go get another job and work here.
Yeah. You just feel like you need to go look for something else if you don't get it, which is really dumb.
And everyone that I think I interviewed with was like, get you going, you'll get this pay right now, and I guarantee you, man,
Within the next
2 months,
2
months, you are going to be promoted.
People love
guaranteed
short-term gratification.
Guarantee it.
Hell, even the phone. Like, people want to know something, they search it, boom, they got it.
Yeah.
But
It's like,
in reality,
I can go after my dream, and that can take 60. It takes 10 years maybe before I see anything.
5 to 10 years before they see any sort of gain.
I can work over here, and they'll pay me in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah. No, I knew, that's what I was saying.
People close their minds to the idea like, 5 to 10 years to build something? No way.
That's too much work.
That's way too much work.
That's too much work.
But think about this. And I'm just going to do this. It's just like...
You know, the other thing, like, and I think that this is like, it's still all fucking, like, self-awareness is like, it's always, you can always blame somebody else if you work for a company. It's like, oh, fuck that guy, it's his fault.
Mm-hmm.
Or like my boss, like I fuck John, that guy sucks.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, you work for yourself and you fuck shit up. Who are you gonna blame?
Yeah.
That's a big deal too.
Yeah.
It's like, you can always blame the up, but if you're the up, what do you do then?
Yeah, it's tough.
That's wild, bro, and that's serious shit. Like, I mean, that's a big deal, because a lot of people love to play victim and love to play the blame game, bro.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
I get that.
Always.
So, amongst this whole conversation, I guess to kind of close things out on this topic, how do you take that leap? If this is something that you just don't enjoy, and hell, this isn't for people that enjoy this. We're strictly talking about how to, because for us, obviously, we don't enjoy the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But for people that want to kind of escape this thing, what are some of the things that you do to try to take that leap right now, to try to close out everything? So
it's more of a mental thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
You have to legitimately come to terms with like what you want, and write down how you think you can achieve it. Do research, like, but I think it more or less comes down to like what you want, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I also think it comes down to not being afraid to try different things.
No, that's a big one. That, yeah. I mean, that's change.
You can't be
change
afraid
is
to,
wild, man. But you gotta embrace it.
Yeah, if you have an inclination to try something, like, hell, give it a shot.
So I'm here now in this spot, like we talked about, and I'm real keen on that burger guy story. I think if you're gonna do something, you gotta fucking do it.
You gotta go all in.
You gotta go all in.
Yeah, and even then, like, I think that if you were to try multiple things, like, that doesn't mean try all these multiple things at once.
No,
Don't overwhelm yourself.
Take your time.
Take your time. But go. Yeah, I was about to say balls deep. That balls deep. But just go all in on one thing, and hell, if it doesn't work, go on to the next thing and try that.
Yeah.
You know, or if you're gonna retry doing something like that again, do it, but try it differently. Like,
yeah,
you got to give yourself an opportunity to try a whole bunch of different things before you completely close yourself off to one thing and that's it.
Patience is a real thing, dude.
Oh,
like,
man.
you need it. You need it, because if you don't, patience. Like, you're never gonna get anywhere. And it took me a long time to figure that out. You even have to get it tattooed.
You need to get the instant gratification thing out of your mind.
Out of your mind.
Because
it's gonna take a long time.
You got your whole life ahead of you, man. I mean, especially for people our age.
You'd be surprised the amount of people that don't want that. Like, remember that that girl I was talking to? I was like, it's gonna take me like 6 to 10 years to get this shit going.
Yeah, it's like,
time for that?
Yeah, hell no.
Okay, get the fuck.
It's gonna take 6 to 10 years to try to get at least a little bit, maybe 6 figures, if that.
If that, yeah.
But that's not the point. Like, the point is, like, if I can build this life and it's gonna take me 6 to 10 years, and I have the whole rest of my life to feel happy with what I'm doing, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, despite the financials.
Yeah, dude, for real. I mean, and the other thing is, like, just to not live with regret, bro.
Yeah. I mean, obviously regret's going to happen at some point, but you kind of have to realize, like, it happened, move on kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But people, I forgot, there was this thing I heard, bro. I'll come back to it in another episode. Mm-hmm. But it was like, I don't. For me, man, I can't go through life not.
I always told myself, like, if I was gonna go and do something, and I just gave it my all, and I just, like, completely, utterly failed, lost all my money, lost my friends, my family, everything, but I went balls deep on this thing, like, when I just tried my best on everything that I could possibly do in my power, and I just ended up on the streets, I'd be okay with that. Truly, yeah, I would be okay because I freaking tried. And if I were to die trying, people would remember me from just, holy shit, this dude, he never fucking
This guy went balls deep, bro.
Yeah, this dude went balls deep.
Oh, yeah, okay, this is what it was. It was like you go to this place. It was a guy who's like, they went to this, he said that he, like, his biggest fear was, like, going to this place and, like, he's at this auditorium and this guy puts up this picture of him and all these accolades. The shit that he did, and he was like, it was like all this stuff, like, I forgot if he was a runner or what he was, and it was like first place here, like All-American here, and he's like, but that shit's not any of me, like, like, what the hell? I do this, I do that. And the guy's like, yeah, but this would have been you if you would have tried. Like, all the shit that you missed out on.
Yeah.
Had you just tried rather than just sat back and were passive about it.
Yeah.
It's like, here's all the shit that you could have had, but now you're dead and you didn't accomplish any of this because you were too fucking lazy. That shit would piss me off.
Yeah. So
that's kind of how I look at shit, man. Like,
yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. You saw what you would have been.
Yeah, that would eat me up inside.
That would eat up a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's a lot of stuff on this that we can really go on to talk about. But these are the main points, and well, take
what you want from this. I mean, come on, like everything is taken with a grain of salt. Like,
we're talking about this because this is something we feel and experience daily.
But yeah, man, if you're scared to take that leap, sometimes I know we say this a lot, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Like, close your eyes and just go for it. Start swinging, because might as well do that than not at all.
Yeah, but also realize that how can you put yourself in a place to where you don't have a high level of responsibility to basically outweigh the risk of you being able to take the leap to do something you want to do? Because if you're going to put yourself in a position that has extreme responsibility, you got all these things to worry about. You got, if you're young and you're moving out at home, you got to pay bills and this and that, just because you're trying to look successful. I think that's the biggest takeaway from this, is that reduce that, make the sacrifice, because these sorts of things require sacrifices.
The way I look at it, man, is life's like a chess game, bro. And if you haven't, I'm not saying having a child or marrying somebody or starting life is a bad deal, because it's not. Those are beautiful things. But if you have the chance, life's like chess, bro. You gotta strategically play out your moves.
Yeah.
Stop just motionlessly going through it and plan out exactly what you're gonna do. That's the best way to look at it.
Yeah. Don't
do anything stupid. Or for the short term pleasure, you gotta stop.
Yep.
Look at the big picture and get shit done, bro.
Just go with it.
It's the best thing.
Do you? All right, guys. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Good one today. We'll be posting every Tuesdays, Thursdays. The Common Ground Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. Give us a like on TikTok, Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Like us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Facebook. We post there pretty much daily. So go ahead, tune in, give us a like, give us a follow. Again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. And if you have anything to say, remember, comment.
We're always open to debate, man.
Yeah, we love to hear the feedback. We've been getting a lot of really good feedback. We're glad that we have mics now, so that's good. But we really appreciate the feedback on these videos and these topics. And hey, if there's something that kind of piques your interest a little bit, let us know, and we can try to expand on maybe one of those topics later on. But for now, give us a listen Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll be posting, so appreciate it. Appreciate y'all. Thanks.
Yo.
Yep.
Yep.
Here we go. Here we go.